Welcome back, folks. Glad you're here. I just took inventory of my cabbage. The snail cleaned out 11 cabbage seedlings. So I do have the slug traps out that I did a previous video on. And those are working, folks. But an older gentleman stopped by. He heard I was having slug issues and that I've lost some of my plants. Back then it was 11 plants. So he told me to try wood ash from my wood stove. So what I did was I put wood ash all around about 4 inches away from each cabbage plant, made a ring. And since then I have lost no more cabbage. I've lost 11 total, and I'm kind of hoping that they will make it. So I did a little experiment. The slug traps that were collecting the most slugs, I took wood ash and put it around that trap, and I waited until this morning, and not one single slug went in those traps, folks. So the traps are good, but wood ash is really good, folks, okay? Now, you need fresh wood ash. You need ash that, if you have an ash pile when you clean out your stove in the wintertime or your fire pit, it can't be wood ash that's been rained on, okay? It's got to be fresh wood ash. So we did get a thunder shower here, but I apparently the wood ash that I put around the plants was enough to keep the slugs away. So I think what I will do is, after another rain, I will put another ring around. So I'm not talking coals, folks, chunks of coals. I'm talking about wood ash. And what I've been burning in my stove, well, I haven't had a fire in a few days, but what I have in my stove, what I've been burning in my stove, was popple. So that's the wood ash that I've been using. So there's an update on that, folks. I'm really tired. My body hurts today, so what I am going to do is go have a seat and I will finish this video. Hey folks, I decided to haul some sawdust and to get rid of some bark. So the bark goes into a big pile, decomposes, and then once it's decomposing, decomposed to where I like it, I will use it as mulch, right? So, in order to use the four-wheeler, which is my stepdad's four-wheeler, folks, right? Mine needs a little repair. So I asked him if I could borrow his four-wheeler to haul some sawdust and some cleaning out the woodshed, the bark that fell off. He said, yep. He said, you gotta charge the battery. Alright, I can charge the battery. You're gonna need to put air in the tire. That front tire is almost flat. Alright, I can do that. You're gonna have to put some gas in it. Yeah, I always leave it with more gas than I use when I borrow his. And I said, well, I kind of like to use the wagon. He said, yeah, you got to put the tire on it. I said, the tire? I said, what's wrong with the tire? He said, well, I had it flat. He said, I'd take it off and go get it fixed. But you're going to have to put the tire on it. I said, all right, I can do that. I've got a full-way, I don't know what you call it, lug nut wrench. And he said, you're going to need a jack. And I said, I've got a jack. I've got a bottle jack. He said, all right. He said, you need any help with any of that? And I said, no. I said, I can probably do it all right. And so I just went for a ride, folks. I hauled my sawdust, hauled my bark, and went for a ride up. As you can see, since the last time I filmed here, the bog is really greened up. So I went for a ride up the snowmobile trail, which is the property, right? So rode up there and found the water was even high, way up the other end of the bog. So I checked on the high bush blueberries while I was up there, and there's quite a few high bush blueberries, and there's a lot of blossoms, so that's good. So showing promise of low bush cranberries, that's really good. But unless the bog goes down, I'm not going to collect them, right? Now the reason the bog is up is because way down about a mile, we call it the third beaver dam. So the beaver are really working their magic on that third beaver dam down there. And that is on my stepdad's property. So I'm gonna get until something can be done with those beaver, I'm gonna have high water here. So it is what it is, right? Now he has the means to trap beaver. He's got one of those licenses where he can do that. So it all takes time, right? There's other priorities first, folks. So anyway, I figured since my body hurts and I did a lot of work already this morning that I thought I would go up and check on the berry bushes up there and then sit and do a video because, you know, folks, once I took inventory of my cabbage, you know, cabbage is not only cabbage, the garden guaranteed, folks. The garden is never ever guaranteed. You know, you could have a drought, you could be flooded, we could have high winds that come through, we could have about anything. A bug could come through, or an insect, or a groundhog could come through. Anything could come through. So the garden is never ever guaranteed, right? And you could do everything right and still not get much of a crop, folks. You can. So, you know, we've got sun today, which is nice. Supposed to be mostly cloudy all week though, and rain toward the end of the week. But you could have a summer of all all clouds or all rain or no rain at all, right? So gardeners are at the mercy of Mother Nature. That's just the way it is, folks. So, and it might not only be Mother Nature that messes with your garden. Oh, anything could happen, folks. So, what I usually do, because I know I have slug problems, is usually plant more cabbage than I'll need. Now, one year I planted 50 cabbage, and I worked the weekends at that time, so in 2 days the slugs ate all 50 cabbage, folks. Yeah, so I went a year without cabbage that year. So nothing is guaranteed. Nothing ever is guaranteed, folks. So it's good to plan in more than one direction, right? You can plan to have a good garden. It might not be successful. You could stock up canned foods, dry goods, right? And then if it's not stored properly, you could lose them, or you could store stuff in your freezer. And what if you lose power or the freezer quits, right? So I think we have to prep in more ways than one. You know, cover all your bases, right? Cover this area and that area, and then cover it some more somehow. So I think those that have never gardened, you're gonna have to learn to garden, right? Now this morning, even though the safe time for here in Maine is Memorial Day weekend, is when you can put your warmer plants in, but I'm taking a gamble. I already planted my cucumbers. I already planted a few other things in the garden, but I think those are safe. I really do. I think they're safe because I've got windows, right? But I planted my pumpkin this morning. I planted sunflowers this morning, and I've got to separate my aloe plant. Aloe plants are a good plant to have around, folks, okay? And I also found that aloe, if you get stung a lot by mosquitoes or ninjas or black flies or whatever, I find that taking a leaf and splitting it open and rubbing aloe on those stings or bites, that it helps the itching incredibly fast, folks. So that was something new that I discovered this year, and probably all of you knew exactly what to do with aloe. I just used it for burns and cuts. That's all I've ever used it for. So that's nice because I've got to thin them out anyway. So yesterday's video, I know I talked backwards a little bit. And when I'm really tired, folks, I trip over my words an awful lot, and I use the wrong verb, and the tenses are off. But none of you cared about that, so that's good. Thank you very much. You'll always know when I'm tired, folks, because I do. I struggle with my speech when I'm tired, and I call it lazy talk. I'm just talking lazy. I'm not paying attention at all. I'm just talking. So, but that's what I've got today. Nothing spectacular. No music. I might put the nice little ride that I just took into this video somewhere, and I'll mute it, or I'll at least turn down the volume because I had the cell zip tied to the front basket here. Now I did catch part of Patera Appalachia's Homestead, and she touched on the whole garden thing not being guaranteed, and I was already going to do a video on that, so I don't want anybody to think that I took the idea from her, because I certainly didn't. She goes into a lot more depth with her videos than I do. I try to keep mine shorter. She talks better than I do with her videos. I tend to trip over my words, but you can guarantee that what I say, as little as I say sometimes, um, it does come from here, and it's something I truly believe. Now, I'm not saying that Patera doesn't do that as well. She does. She appears very genuine, folks. Okay, she's just been at it longer, and she's got more of a gift than I do for talking. But like her, I'm pretty genuine as well, and we just want to help people. We want to help people prepare for what is coming. So I think what I'm going to do is do another mention. Patera's website, which is Appalachia Homestead, and that'll be another mention. I know a lot of you follow her, and I don't watch a lot of the videos because I just don't have time. So I catch the ones that when I do have time, and I just had to get out of the sun a little while ago and go in and have something to drink. So I don't know if you saw that, but a spider and a web just broke free back there somewhere and was blowing in the wind. It went right between me and the camera. So I just needed something to drink, and like I said, my body hurts today. So her video popped up, so I watched it, and I'm like, well, crap, I was going to do a video on the same thing. So I did a video, and I will mention her so she doesn't think that I copied her video. And even in the mentions, folks, a lot of people don't see the mentions until a long ways down the road. So she might not even ever see this video. So I might be safe. I might be safe. So keep up the good work, Patera, and steadfast, folks. As Travis from the Prepared Homestead says, get your houses in order, right? So, and I know I'm rambling. I've just got to go in and take a break. It's going to be an early day today on the homestead here. Even though there's so much to do, folks, my body is just bushed. It's just bushed. So, thank you. Come back again. And until next time, stay busy, folks.